Okay, number 7 here. Alan has made his own conversion graph to change knots to miles per hour. Use Alan's conversion graph to write 150 knots in miles per hour. Now, 150 knots, well, there's 100 there, so 200 here. So 150 is directly in between 100 and 200. So I'll draw a line up from 150, which is here, okay, 150 knots. Let's draw a line up to, so that it hits my conversion graph, my conversion line, and I'll draw across where it hits, so it hits to that point, and it hits my y-axis, my miles per hour axis, and here. Now that value there is directly, it's halfway, isn't it, between these two values? Okay, so I need to work out what that is there in this scale. Now don't worry too much about trying to work out what each block is worth, right, or what each 5 blocks is worth. What I would do is, because you bang in the middle between two values, to get that middle value, you just work out the average of them. And if you think about it, you add them up and divide by 2. So we add them up and then divide by 2, we get 172.5. So that's what that's going to be there. Okay, that's going to be directly in the middle of them. So that's what we write down, 172.5 miles per hour. Okay. Now, part B, it says Nikita thinks Alan's conversion graph may be inaccurate. Nikita knows that 1000 knots is 1150.779 miles per hour. Correct the 3 decimal places. Okay. Convert 20 knots to miles per hour using Alan's conversion graph and then using Nikita's values. Okay, let's do this then. So, let's look at Alan's to start with. Well, we want to get 20 knots, it says, doesn't it? So let's go back to his 20 knots. Now, again, it's going to be quite hard to work out where 20 is here. Okay, we don't have to worry about that, right? What we can do is use a different value, and then we can scale down to it. Okay, so maybe we could even take this value here, 200 knots. So what's 200 knots worth in miles per hour? So if I draw a line up, you don't really need to draw a line up, but I'm just doing it to show. 200 knots is 230 miles per hour. Yeah, so we can write that about Alan, can't we? We could say, look, from his conversion graph, 200 knots is equal to 230 miles per hour. Okay, so going back to the graph, so remind you again where I got that from. 200 knots, 230 miles per hour. Well, we want 20 knots from his graph, so all you've got to do is use this idea here. Well, if we got 200 knots, we could scale that down, couldn't we? We could divide that by 10 to get 20 knots. Of course, what you've got to do then is divide this by 10 as well. So you get 23 miles per hour. Okay, now if we do the same then with Nikita, we haven't got a conversion graph, but we've got this value that 1000 knots is equal to 1150.779 miles per hour. Okay, so now we'd scale this, we'll divide this, so we get to 20 knots. Now that might be a bit of work, maybe we'll take a bit of time on this. Maybe if we divide it by 10 to start with, that's obviously 100 knots, so take our time on this. We're going to divide this by 10. So, you know, you could use a calculator, or appreciate that the values move one place to the right. Okay. So 115.0779. Now that's 100 knots. I want to get 20. So if you think about it, then all I've got to do is divide by 5. Yeah. You divide by 5, you get to 20 knots. So we're going to divide that by 5. So we have 115.0779 divide by 5, and we get 23. Let's write all that down. 23.01558 miles per hour. And then it says, isn't it, calculate the difference in miles per hour between your answers. So what we're going to do is take these 2 away, right? The difference, 23.01588, take away 23. You use your calculator, but it will come out as this, 0.1 0.01588. We use a calculator on that just to check. And then it says to 2 decimal places. So 2 decimal places means you've got to chop everything off after that one there. And because that after that line is, because that's a 5, you'd round this up then, so that'll be a 2. So you get 0.02, correct, to 2 decimal places.